I think you may have played some variant of this game before. This is Puzzle Bobble, released in 1994 for the arcade by Taito Corporation, same people behind Space Invaders and Bubble Bobble, which this is sort of a descendant of. So let's put in some coins. Ready to go? Your controls are on the arrow keys 4, 5, 6. I'm using the controller because. So, ready?
Do I need all the arrow keys?
I don't think so. I think you just need left and right.
Okay.
Once we start playing the game, I think you'll recognise it.
These guys are a little cute. I mean, these little guys are cute.
What did you say?
I said these little guys. These guys are a little cute.
Okay, we're going. So you're on the right, I'm the left.
Oh!
Yeah? Do you know this game?
I know it.
Yes. So this is Puzzle Bobble, and it is probably one of the most ripped off games in existence.
Oh, so this is the start of all this weirdness.
Yeah. So this was 1994, and it's actually surprisingly late, isn't it, for this style of game? You'd think that it would come earlier.
Yeah.
But no, this is where it started. So the idea is to match 3 or more bubbles.
Mine's shaking.
Yours is shaking because the longer you take, the further down it goes. So the idea is to try and keep it from killing you and just crushing your little dragons.
Oh, my little dragons.
So don't let your dragons get crushed.
No.
Now it's tricky because there are a lot of different colours, and
Good advice,
you kind
kids.
of go on. What?
Don't let your dragons get crushed.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
there's lots of
advice
different
from us.
colours.
There's lots of different colours, so getting a match. I mean, you can see on my side, there's not a whole lot I can do with the colours that I'm getting given, so I'm having to just put them wherever I can. When you do get a match, it's good, and if you get one that manages to knock down a load of other bubbles, then you're basically in heaven. So, what do we think of this? First impressions.
It's
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
It's more difficult than it looks.
Yeah.
Ah.
So the trick is to learn sort of how to bounce the bubbles around and get them into these tight little spots. Now I noticed that bubbles keep appearing. Oh. You let your dragons get crushed. Oh no.
Oh, my little dragons.
Your dragons got the crush.
Go on, bubbles keep appearing.
Bubbles keep appearing out of nowhere. I'm not really sure why that's happening. I'm trying to spot a pattern here. Can't do it.
I think they just float up because presumably there's some kind of liquid. Oh, the bubbles have got faces in.
They have. They've got little monsters inside them. You got to free them monsters, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. They whee. You see. So this could have been a completely cut and dry fire the bubbles at the other bubbles game, but instead it's dragons freeing monsters, and I think the stylistic choices here help it. That was a sentence that belongs in an art design essay, doesn't it?
Yes.
Help. And it's a lot of fun to play it with somebody else.
It's very fun, even though I'm not focusing on what you're doing at all.
Well, that's okay. Why should you be focusing on what I'm doing?
Because presumably as a two-player game, you would be slightly concerned at what your
opponent is up to.
Pal is doing, yeah.
Well, I guess, but at the same time, what I'm doing isn't really affecting your playfield, as far as I can tell.
True.
So, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. It's not exactly chess, is it? And speaking of which, this is kind of interesting because in the West, this isn't something that you would have seen.
I was going to say this is something the Japanese would have invented.
Well, yeah, because you had a lot of these puzzle games in Japanese arcades, but they didn't really make their way over here. Puzzle Bobble's an exception, of course, but you had all kinds of weird... I mean, I can't even describe some of the games that I've seen in arcades that just make no sense to me. But they were much bigger to have puzzle games in the arcade in Japan versus in the West, whereas we had all these action games. You have Smash TV and stuff like that. They had all these weird puzzle games instead. And they were all this sort of cutesy style as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time they had competitive two-player modes, so you'd have one down each side, basically. So it kind of highlights the differences between the two cultures.
Yes. Well, they're all about that, aren't they?
Oh, goodness. I don't know what happened there. Bubbles just
Yeah.
appeared and I lost.
It'd be easy if I could use up as my shoot button.
Well, tough.
Lost 1-1.
Lost 1-1.
2 out of 3 ain't
congratulations, you beat me there.
That's because I'm a
Shall we have
bobble.
another game?
Yes. What kind of... Let me phrase my question.
I hope it's one that I can answer.
We have seen cabinets that stand up.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen cabinets that look like cars.
Yes.
We have seen cabinets with joysticks, buttons. What kind of cabinet would this have been on?
I believe that this would have been on a sort of sit-down cabinet, kind of a squat cabinet, so it had a stool in front of it, and it would have had, well, obviously quite a wide screen to fit both players on. I'm not sure. A lot of these puzzle games would come on cabinets that were two-sided, so one side for one player. Right. So kind of like the Daytona machine that we looked at last time.
'Cause what I'm picturing is one of those original Pac-Man tables.
No, it's more like well, I suppose the closest thing would be an ATM sort of shape.
Okay.
So it's a normal stand-up cabinet, but you just sat down at a stool in front of it instead, and it's a bit shorter. That's the only real difference. I think, I'm not sure, but I think when it came to the West, it was probably in a stand-up. I will have to check on that one though. What do we think of the graphics? I think they're quite stunning.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
It's almost like they've used the like. We've seen games that obviously couldn't get away from being pixelated nightmares.
Yeah, yeah.
This may be the first time a game is consciously using the pixel look to
as a
advantage.
stylistic choice. That's.
Am I way out there, or is that?
No, I think you might be onto something there. That's a good shout. I think. Well, they had a lot more colours to play with to start with, as we can clearly see. If we look at Karate Champ, for example, compared to something like Street Fighter.
Yes.
Karate Champ had very basic block colours, and then Street Fighter took it up a notch with the shading and parallax and stuff.
Yeah.
This one isn't. It's not a powerhouse in terms of graphics, but it's certainly a looker. It's
developed characters that seem to have, that seem to.
They work within
the
pixel space, don't they?
Yeah.
So the little dragons at the bottom, they fit, don't they?
Yeah.
Now the thing with the original, I mean, they look basically the same as they did in the original Bubble, which was a much earlier game and had that sort of block colour thing to it. But the only difference is they've got more colours to them, more shading, more detail, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think I see where you're coming from there. It's people getting more skilled and more capable with pixel art, basically, and being able to use it to a much greater extent. Okay, well that was the arcade version of Puzzle Bobble.
I liked that.
Puzzle Bobble.
That was cool.
So let's have a look at our next version. Now, unfortunately, I can't read any of this. Okay, push start. Certainly.
As the years go on, I find myself missing the horrors that was the ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, and the Amiga. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, isn't it? But we have to truck on, move ahead, and well, we've got another 16-bit version to look at, so
Exciting.
it's not like we're completely out of the hole just yet.
Okay.
So this is the Super Famicom version.
What is the Super Famicom?
It's that.
Have we seen it before?
Yes, also known as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the SNES. It was called the Super Famicom in Japan. Yes, we've seen it before. We played Street Fighter 2 on it.
Yeah.
And we also played Super Ghouls and Ghosts on it.
Okay.
I don't know how to start in two-player. What the hell did I just do?
You appeared to start the game.
Okay, well, it looks like we're doing one player. Whatever. I can't say... Ah, right, okay, this appears to be some kind of single-player puzzle mode where you have to solve all the puzzles. I see. And then you clear the puzzle and you get this round clear.
I think that may have been like a training one.
I think it may have been. I think I may have picked the wrong mode here. I am kind of wishing I'd downloaded the US version now. But this is the original, damn it, and this is how we do things on this channel.
Yes.
I should learn Japanese and then I can actually read all these games.
But looking at it, it looks very similar.
It does look pretty similar. The sprites are smaller because we've got a lower screen resolution, so
Yeah.
they had to fit them into a smaller space. Not as many colours as well. We can see the red bubble is very, very black. It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
raspberry jam. Well, I have to say, this is
This is going to be hard.
effectively Nice. As I was saying, this is effectively arcade perfect.
Yeah,
one,
this is real good.
It's a lot of fun. It'd be nice if we knew how to do multiplayer. You've got one right there. Oh, come on. And then another one there.
This is easy.
I expect it'll get a lot harder as you go along.
Do you think?
Yeah. Come on, let's see if I can do it in 2-player. We spent all that time setting up the controls.
But I have the power.
No.
I'm good at this one. I've not died yet.
It's a bit disappointing that the music is exactly the same throughout all the levels, it seems.
I don't know.
Well, it's not. It's the sort of music that you would want to change. Because as nice as it is, I'd rather have something a bit more ambient for a puzzle game. Because it's the sort of game. This is the sort of game I play to relax.
This is the sort of game you play when you're trying to win something.
When you're trying to win something.
You know, from the machines.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point. That I wonder if it was, you mean like a prize redemption machine?
Yeah,
that's what they call them. It may have been a redemption machine at one point.
Oh,
I suspect there was a version of this that was, or a game based on this
it's
that
very
was
sad
of that
because
style.
the noise that this machine is making is very similar to the little bird pterodactyl thing from The Land Before Time.
Is it?
Yeah.
You see, I don't know what this is. Oh. Right, I think...
Oh, I'm a little robot.
No, I think I'm against the CP... Or am I? Oh, is that you? Oh, is it you? No? Maybe? Is it you? Are you controlling it? No, you're not.
No.
No! We must do it. We must get there sooner or later. So, well, I think we can call it one there then, because we're not going to work out how to play 2 players, are we?
No.
So that was the Super Famicom version. The dragon is panicking.
Yes.
So let's move on to the next version.
The next version.
So our next version, we've got a new system. We're having so many new systems on these episodes. So this is a system that nobody's ever heard of. It's called the 3DO, which ironically could not do 3D.
Ah. What
Ready?
did it stand for then? Okay.
Well, it's weird because the 3DO was sort of it was less a console in its own right and more a specification. So you had all these different companies making their own versions of the 3DO. And the one we're playing is called the Gold Star Real Interactive Multiplayer or something daft like that.
Right. I don't understand that, but I believe you.
Let's play it. I'll
Taito.
hand you the controller this time.
No.
We've got the cute dragons again. Yay. So the music's a little bit different, but it's actually looking pretty damn similar
Yeah.
to the Super Famicom version. Press the P button because games. And we've got the menus again. This is the same thing, just with slightly better music because it was on a CD-ROM, you see, so they could have instead of having synthesized music, they'd have actual CD audio tracks.
So this is one that you would have bought on a CD.
Yeah,
because before this is harder to control.
Is it
using
hard
the
to
D-pad.
control? Is it not as good?
Using the D-pad, it's harder to control.
Right.
Because we've been so used to these things coming in cartridges
Yeah.
and as floppy disks, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whereas now we're getting into the age of the
Age of the
CD-ROM.
CD-ROM, yeah. So it's bringing with it lots of technical improvements including, well, basically, the biggest thing was improved sound and music, and a massively increased storage space.
Yes.
All in one.
Low price.
Well, that's right, because everybody was using the same kind of CD. So it was a lot cheaper for publishers to produce. They were happier with it, because they didn't have to keep making bespoke plastic cartridges for the games.
Yeah.
And players were happy with it. The only downside, really, to the CD was the ridiculously long loading times, which thankfully we're not seeing here because of the power of editing and the power of emulation.
Yeah,
But-
because this isn't actually on a CD, is it?
No, it's on an emulated CD. But we just pretend it's on a CD. This was easy before, and now it's exactly
I
the
just said
same
it was
game, but
easy.
it's hard.
I never said it was easy.
You did. You did. You said it was easy. You said, this is easy, I can do this.
Look,
Look, nothing.
you're not the one under this amount of pressure.
I was playing this before. Thank you very much.
Ah!
So it's harder to control. Are there any other differences?
Only with the D-pad. No. Oh. Oh.
Crushed Dragons,
No, just
which
the
is a
machine.
new cocktail I've just invented.
We've got a cheer this time. Do we have a cheer before?
Yeah, they've always said ready, go.
Kind of tells you where it's going to bounce to as well.
It
which
does,
is
and
nice.
it didn't do that on the
No, it
versus
didn't.
mode that we were doing before. But I suppose that's, you know why that is. Milking those yen. Because I
sorry?
didn't have quarters in Japan. You see what I did? So yeah, it's basically the same. Again, you just ruined your chances there. You could have finished it there and then, but no. You fouled up
To the developers of this game, we apologise
for being so crap.
for being pants at it.
Well,
It's
what's
easy.
this Wii? I did this
Easy
first
ass
time
game.
on the SNES.
You're a SNES.
You're everyone needs a SNES.
Oh no.
So I think that
What? Give me more blue ones. Damn you.
Should we wait? This video could take all day if we wait for him to finish this one level.
Wait.
Hurry up!
I'm nearly there. Oh!
I'll tell you what I'll give you. I'll give you 10 seconds to finish this level before I fill you full of lead.
Not my fault.
1, 2. Oh. Hey, I knew that was gonna happen.
Did you know that was fake?
Yes, because I looked it up.
Oh.
Okay, let's finish. Because we've got one more
Boom.
version to play.
Boom! Nailed it.
Very impressive. One more version. And I think I'm going to cheer you up.
Why? Oh! Yay! My old friend. That was weird. Spelt did wrong.
Shut up.
Illegal command.
So here we go. This is the DOS version of Puzzle Bobble. And it's...
Are you sure?
Oh,
Puzzle Fun Pack.
wait a minute. We've been fooled!
This is the wrong game.
Oh, it's DOS BAM! Right, okay, I do have it. Ha 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 ha! Okay, this is the DOS version of Puzzle Bobble.
Bust a
Now,
move.
some versions of this in the West were called Bust a Move, and I'm not really sure why. But they were, so there you go. Start the game, please, Bob. Start the game, please, Bob. Start the game, please. Any danger? Oh my god! Work, damn you! Ah! Found it. It's 5.
Really? Of course it is.
1p versus 2p. Oh my goodness, that's scary.
Of course.
Right, so your controls are there, my controls are here somewhere. Haha, found them. Okay. So this is the DOS version.
You know, DOS has redeemed itself.
It's coming on, isn't it?
After 4 or 5 good versions of games, I can finally say that DOS has arrived.
Has DOS come onto its own now?
10 years too late. It's finally done something good.
Well, let's remember what DOS was originally made for. It was made for business people doing business things.
Business.
Business, business, business. So now we've got a system where we've got advanced video cards. We've got Wolfenstein 3D, and we've got Doom. So now that they're out, people are now turning their heads and they're looking at DOS computers and saying, "Whoa, these things can actually do something. Let's make all our games for it." So beyond this point, all DOS games are going to be awesome. Now this, pretty damn good. I'll be very happy with this for 6 years old.
Yeah.
Only thing I will mention is the animations aren't anywhere near as
Yeah,
good.
they're not as smooth, but I have noticed something.
Go on.
In the 2 previous versions we've looked at, the bubbles simply appeared from above. In the arcade version, they also appeared from below from time to time, and that has started to happen again. I've noticed them coming up.
That's because we're playing the 2-player mode again, and we weren't doing before.
Well, my observation is still sound and accurate,
Yeah, sure, okay.
and I am contributing.
Yes, good. Yeah, the animations aren't as good. The bubbles, the individual bubbles aren't animated.
Yeah,
And some of the colours aren't quite as good either. I noticed the orange bubble looks kind of more brown than orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you would say that you're a graphic designer.
Yeah, I would.
Got a clue about
I know how to make a good orange.
No idea.
I'm not having much luck in my bubbles here.
Neither am I.
Yeah, but you won the first round.
Only because you've messed up.
Yeah, but I'm not having much luck with the bubbles, that's what I'm saying.
It's a bit slower. It
Yeah,
doesn't quite engage.
The movement of the... Oh, you like that word, don't you? There's your favourite word again. Engaging. Engageant.
That's not what I'm on about. It takes time for the bubbles to load into my little launcher, whereas before it was pretty much instantaneous.
Well, it takes time. I noticed it took time before, so that's not a problem for me. However, the problem here is that it takes longer to aim
Yes.
your little dragon machine. Otherwise, and then what do we think of the music?
Good.
It's been different in all the versions we've played, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because this will have been on a floppy disk, so we've still got the basic FM synth music. We haven't got the proper CD audio, so it's reflected. Hooray! I won by a hair again, or a bubble, one could say.
It's a bit more tranquil, this music, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more chill. It's what I kind of want from a puzzle game, and the 2-player controls work great.
Yes.
I will just say that as well. So I'm pretty happy with this version.
Yeah, I like this version. DOS is, like I said, DOS is doing good.
It's redeemed itself after the horror that was Pac-Man and Frogger.
Yes.
It's finally come back. It's come out fighting, and we've finally got a game that's worthy.
Well, like I said, the last few DOS games that we've looked at have been pretty good.
Yeah. But we're going to see less and less of them.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this may well be the last DOS game that we look at.
That's kind of sad.
I know. We're leaving all the old systems behind. It's very sad. The Spectrum's been with us from day one, pretty much. Or has it? What was the first game? Pac-Man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That wasn't on the Spectrum.
No, it wasn't.
What was on the Spectrum? What was the first Spectre game we played?
Was it Frogger?
No. Was it Dragon's Lair?
No, it wasn't. It was something before that.
Robotron. Robotron, that was it.
Ugh. Now look, you've mentioned that stupid game and I'm dying. Could only fire in the direction I was pointing.
Now,
Oh.
I think playing these 90s games, we can also sort of reflect on how the cultural side of gaming was different in the 80s versus in the 90s. Because now, excluding Puzzle Bobble, because that's kind of the outlier in this situation, we've had lots of fighting games, we've had a racing game, and they've all been sort of hard action games, violent, exciting,
fast-paced, high octane.
Whereas in the 80s, we kind of had more variety in games, and they were I don't want to say slower pace, but they weren't the same. They weren't the same, were they?
No, they were more puzzle-based.
Yeah, well, you had Dragon's Lair, and that was so different from anything we've seen at all.
Yeah, but that was still learning how to push a button in a certain way, and
it was.
That was more like its own thing, so we can kind of discount that.
I suppose, yeah. What else did we have in the 80s? We had... Well, yeah, everything up to Outrun was that sort of... What can we do with games?
Yeah.
Whereas from the 90s onwards, it's kind of like, this is what
What
people
are we going
want.
to do with games?
Yeah, this is how we're going to do this. So, that pretty much wraps up our episode on Puzzle Bobble.
That was very nice. I like that one.
So let's have a little bit of a recap.
Okay.
Arcade version first.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm going to say 8.5 because I don't think I could play it as much as I could play Outrun. So I'm more
I
inclined
could
to go
definitely
8.
play this more than Outrun.
Okay, so, well, I'll say 8.5. You go in 9. Okay, that's good. We haven't had any 10s yet, it occurs to me. Are we going to get one before the 90s are out? I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I somehow doubt it. How about the Super Famicom version?
There's only one 10 game.
And that's...
The Famicom, it was pretty good. The colours were there.
8.5.
Sound was all there.
Did I give it exactly the same score as the arcade? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's
Yeah.
close enough for me.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm starting to notice there's less of a disparity between.
There is, yeah. So we're seeing that the consoles are becoming more powerful,
Yeah.
and the arcades, there's not as much effort going into making
Yeah.
them more powerful. Because the innovation's all happening at home now. They've seen where the market is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be downhill from here. Anyway, 3DO.
That was the one where it showed you which direction it was going to go in, wasn't it?
No, they all did that.
Alright.
It was essentially the same as the SNES version, but with slightly different music. I don't hesitate to say better, it was just different.
It was different. The colours were a bit less complex.
I don't think so.
Were they not?
I think
They're all the
it was
same to
harder
me.
to control, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit sluggish, so 8 for that one.
I agree. 8. And the DOS version, again, an 8.
A big fat 9. Loved
8
it.
from me. Okay. Well, that's Puzzle Bobble then.
Puzzle Bobble, cute. I want one of those little dragons.
They're cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's Bub and that's Bob.
Aww.
They're very cute.
Who are those robots?
I don't know. They're the baddies that you have to...
Right.
In the original, you had to blow bubbles to trap them into the bubbles and then stomp on them. And then they go... Blah, 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 blah.
Got
And we'll
it.
play that one day.
Yep.
So, good night from him.
And good night from me.
And we'll see you all for the next one.
In 1995.
Hey, that's an important year.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Ciao for now.
Bye.
I
Yeah.
really need a yellow bubble. Stop throwing these stupid colours at me. I need yellow. No.
Don't forget you got to bounce.